July 31st, 1957. Tonight, the producers of unpredictable, fun-loving I've Got a Secret turn their backs on youthful, hustling television to salute its graying, much-beloved stepfather, radio, as time marches backward.
I've Got a Secret, starring this week, while Garry Moore's on vacation, Henry Morgan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another session of I've Got a Secret. And right off the bat, let's meet our panel. First, Bill Cullen. Then Jayne Meadows, who tonight is celebrating her third wedding anniversary as Mrs. Steve Allen. And next, filling in for Henry Morgan, who is appearing at the Kennebunkport Playhouse in Kennebunkport, Maine this week, is Mr. Carl Reiner. And I would like very much to thank the managers of the Playhouse for giving Mr. Morgan the night off so that he could be here and fill in for Garry Moore, who is away sailing. And on the panel, finally, is Miss Faye Emerson, who is playing summer stock, and next week she will be at the Kennebunkport Playhouse in Kennebunkport, Maine, and that is our panel. Now tonight, panel, we're going to sort of turn back the clock and salute some of the good old days of radio. And just to give you some idea of the sort of problems you'll be faced with tonight, did any of you happen to recognize the famous voice that you heard at the beginning of the show? Listen again.
The March of Time.
All right, panel. Well, Bill, you have it, don't you?
The initials HVK?
No. Carl.
No, he has a wonderful name, and it's not Aloys of Vrilla, but it sounds something as beautiful as that, and he's naturally the March of Time voice, and that's all I want to say.
Well, as a matter of fact, you're quite right. It is, of course, the March of Time voice. His actual name is Westbrook Van Voorhees, and, of course, here he is. Of course, Mr. Voorhees has his own radio show, and he has to rush back, so Mr. Van Voorhees marches on. Now, may we have our first contestant, please? In nice and close. Panel, we're going to call this gentleman Mr. X in order not to give you too much help. Mr. X, if you'll whisper your secret to me, we'll show it at the same time to the folks at home. Now, panel, to help classify Mr. X's secret, it concerns something he did in radio, and we're going to do one question each on this. We'll start with you, Janie.
Mr. X, would you have been the first to do this?
This particular feature, yes.
That's 20 down and 60 to go, and Carl Reiner, we go with you.
This first that you did it have anything to do with music?
Yes, it did.
Very good. Faye?
Was it your own musical organization, sir?
Yes.
Pretty hot. How about you, Bill?
I'm not going to try HVK again. I goofed with that last time. I'm younger than I think. Were you the leader?
Oh.
Yes? Do you have anything to do with the Clico Club Eskimos? And beyond that, I cannot go.
No.
All right. I give up.
Panel, we lost the $80. Faye, do you want to take a wild one?
A&P Gypsies?
No.
No, Faye, this is one, man. This is, and you're going to be ashamed of yourselves, this is Arthur Tracy, the street singer. Incidentally, did you know that Arthur Tracy was the first performer in radio to have a theme song? He started that stuff. And, by the way, Mr. Tracy, what do you do now?
I'm now the vice president of Nassau Management Company, which owns and controls such properties as the Concourse Plaza in the Bronx, and the Roosevelt Hotel in Washington, and many, many other properties.
Fascinating. Now, this is no surprise to you, of course, that Norman Paris has his entire 10-piece trio here in the pit. He has the music. Would you be good enough to sing your theme?
I don't like to sing much.
Martha, rambling rose of the wildwood. Martha, with your fragrance divine, rosebud of the days of my childhood, watch you bloom in the wildwood, and I hoped you'd be mine. Martha, now you rise, beam at twilight, sparkling like each dewdrop at dawn. Martha, when I look for your love light, I awake with a sigh, and I find you are
Now, panel, while we're on the subject of theme songs, I know that you're not very old, but you do remember the time when you could walk down the street in the summer, and you know exactly what time of day it was by the sound of theme songs coming out of the open window, you know, from radios. Well, we're going to play one or two of them and see can you identify some famous theme songs in the programs that they were part of. Now, if you know what it was, raise your hand. The first song used to introduce what is undoubtedly, this isn't too tough, the best-loved radio show of all time. Norman? Oh, boy. Bill's hand was up first.
Well, I'm sorry. Thank you, George. I'm sorry, Henry. I'm so
delighted.
excited.
What are you sorry
Ever
about?
since HVK, I've been wrong. If this isn't Amos and Andy, I do quit.
You don't have to quit. Okay. You don't have to quit.
It's vague back there.
All right, it wasn't that tough. Anyway, the next one, this show boasted that the singers on it sang so clearly, they said, Bill knows already, but we got to play the music. Norman has it all set up. Norman, do it. Carl?
Manhattan Merry-Go-Round featuring Rochelle Carley, the Folies Bergère de Paris.
You're quite right. Now, this program, I had written a note here, and I'm going to leave it out because you're too smart. We'll just say that they gave away something to the kids. Do you remember this one? One with pretty old burnt locks. Who could it be?
Little Orphan Annie.
Oh, you're too smart. Now, the next show, in addition to its wonderful star, gave to the entertainment world some of the big talents that we know today. Very important talents. Try this one.
Was that the rise of the Goldbergs?
Originally, it was, yes. You might be fascinated to know that some of the people who played on the Rise of the Goldbergs were Marjorie Main and Joseph Cotton, John Garfield, Van Heflin, Arlene Francis, lots of people. The next one had us all tearing off the box tops so that we could send for the special secret decoding ring.
Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Every morning we'll be champions throughout the land. Whoa!
I'm Jack Strong.
Jack
Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
Wheat is the best food of man.
Absolutely, never doubted it. Here is probably the most famous closing theme that radio ever produced. Whose was it? All right. You have to name the name anyway.
Eddie Cantor.
Oh, of course it was Eddie Cantor.